Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
So, how did you get into the skateboarding business?
So I've been in the action sports industry for, I don't know, probably a good 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I was, when I was younger, I was snowboarding and skateboarding as a young boy and riding BMX and things like that. Grew up in Colorado. And so when I was 21, I got sponsored on a snowboard tour.
Oh, wow.
And so I went around the country teaching people how to snowboard and promoting the sport. And that was right when the sport was taking off, about 1990.
Oh, wow.
And so then that was 1 year of my life. And so then that had come to an end. It was the last time they were going to do the tour. And so my friend that was on the tour with me, we decided to start our own apparel business.
Uh-huh.
And so after we got back to Colorado on the tour, we started our own apparel business and started making t-shirts and selling the t-shirts. And then eventually we made cut and sew apparel. So jackets, pants, hats, all kinds of stuff, right? And this was all in the early 90s. So this is all pre-internet, pre-computers. Everything was
Yeah.
all designed, done by hand.
More word of mouth.
Yeah. And traveling salesman, we'd get in a car and we would drive from Colorado to California, Los Angeles, and then we'd end up on Melrose Avenue selling our stuff. And then we would drive to San Francisco and sell our stuff on Haight Street. And then we would go back to Colorado and do it all over again. And so we did that for about 7 to 8 years. And it just got to the point where, we needed more capital and we were bootstrapped the whole time. And
Uh-huh.
we were a bunch of guys in our 20s, and so no one wanted to loan us any money at the time.
Oh,
And so then I started seeing, the computer age coming of age. So Steve Jobs came back to Apple in 97. Adobe Photoshop was just starting off. I think when I saw it, it was Adobe version 3.0.
oh,
And I
wow.
think now they're up at like 19, 20 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So I saw that and I said, this is the future. Because up to that point I was doing everything by hand. So I
Uh-huh.
said, oh wow, Photoshop, we can all do it in the computer now. Great, let's go.
Uh-huh.
And so I quickly pivoted and went back to school and got my degree in graphic design. And at the time they were teaching a multimedia course, and so I learned how to develop CD-ROMs and DVDs and things like that. So then here comes the internet, right? So then now everyone's talking about building websites. And so then I just pivoted again, graphics are graphics no matter where you put them, printed or
Right.
online. So by the time I graduated, I had already kind of been multidisciplined in print and online.
Oh,
And
sweet.
that was like 1999. I got a job developing websites, and then that led me out to San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been living in San Francisco since 2000. And I have two sons, and my youngest son is my partner in the skateboard brand. So
Uh-huh.
when he was 15, about 2012, he said, "Hey, I think we should start a skateboard brand." And I said, "That sounds great." I said, "What's the name?" He says, "Create." I said, "That's a great name. Are you sure
So
someone
let's just
hasn't used it
create.
before?" Yeah. And so I said, all right, let's go for it. So then, this is our store. We've been doing it for about 12 years now. We sell online, we sell a bunch of retailers around the world. And we design everything from skateboards to apparel to accessories. And now we're getting more into more apparel and kind of just more accessories and our store. And we're hoping to expand our stores and have stores around the globe.
Wow, nice. Can you show us around your store?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if I can flip the camera here real quick.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So there's the skateboards,
Oh, nice.
all the apparel.
It's beautiful.
There's all the boards we've done over the years,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
right? And then we've got some
That's a
shoes back
class.
here now.
if I was living, if I was, if I knew about your store when I lived there, I would have come in and
Yeah,
taken a look.
right.
I used to
Super
live
fun.
all
So
over the city for 7
yeah.
years.
So then we've got all of our accessories for skateboards in the what we call the fish tank.
Uh-huh.
And so so we also support the manatees, the endangered animal that was put on the endangered list in 1997.
Uh-huh.
And they uh they were going extinct, and it was due to man. They were dying in record numbers because the speedboats, the power boats, would run through the water, and
Oh,
they sleep close to the surface, and so the power boats would run them over and orphan the
oh,
young, the calves. And so the closest living relative to the manatee is the elephant.
uh-huh.
So a lot of people call them sea cows, but they're really kind of sea elephants.
Oh, I
And
see.
yeah, so we support them. And a portion of the proceeds with anything out of the manatee on it goes to help save the manatees. And then we try to help the community and give back to the community with what we do too.
That's amazing. So what was your biggest challenges that you faced when you throughout your um throughout your life
Throughout
trying to launch?
yeah, on the
Yeah.
business. Really the biggest challenge is capital. You know, you can have ideas and you can have all these things, but if you don't have the capital to really get it off the ground, it's really tough. And as you can tell with the financial system in the world today, that's been a challenge the whole time. Nobody wants to loan any money, and so it's typical of where we're at as a society.
So do you think the cryptocurrencies in any way affected you?
No,
Yeah,
no.
like
I think what's affected us is the financial systems in the world. They're
do you feel like it's a
they're
scam?
not they're not made for regular people. They're made for people with money.
Yeah. So how did technology affect your business?
Technology actually helps our business because the cost of entry to build a website like ours and to market ourselves is pretty easy with technology these days. Like I said, when I was doing this back in the 90s, everything was word of mouth. Everything was traveling salesmen driving door to door.
Yeah.
With technology now, I'm able to speak with manufacturers around the world, directly. I remember back in the 90s when I was trying to find manufacturers to buy direct. A company called Dickies was a
I
very small company at that time.
yeah.
Had no idea what I was talking about. They thought we were a automotive store.
Oh,
They
really?
want to buy uniforms for your guys, and we just wanted the apparel because we were gonna re-embroider it and do other things with it.
Oh,
So and now look at them,
yeah.
multi-billion-dollar, right? So anyway, technology has definitely helps companies like at our size now, and so I think that was the main thing that we were able to kind of pass that threshold that I did with my brand in the 90s was I had a lot of options. I had a lot of connections to people now and social media and reaching people in larger amounts really fast.
Uh-huh.
So technology definitely helped our company at this size.
So you think you turned international in the 90s?
I think what?
You turned international in the 90s?
Yeah, so the company I had in the 90s was a different brand that was called Fumes.
Uh-huh.
And we did start selling international, but we ran out of money. And
Okay.
no one wanted to give us capital because we were all in our 20s.
And
And
so that
so
was the
now,
biggest challenge was the capital.
yeah, yeah, it always is. Because if you have great ideas, um, getting them off the ground just takes capital, honestly,
Right.
And and at a certain point, you can sell your products and make money off of it, but to scale the business, it takes deeper pockets than if you do it bootstrapped. You can't really do it bootstrapped. It's too difficult. It takes too long. So we
Okay.
burn a bunch of time and energy trying to do it ourselves, while meanwhile our competition is stealing our ideas and moving forward with it. So
Oh
it
yeah.
it's a shame. It's a shame that the financial institutions aren't set up to recognize these types of things. And yeah, it's unfortunate.
What's your latest product?
The latest product is this thing right here. It's I'll show you. It's a design your own create skateboard.
Uh-huh.
It's a touch screen that's you can see it here.
Yeah.
So you can add different backgrounds,
Uh-huh.
and then you can also add graphics, and you can scale the graphics.
Can you bring your own graphics on a flash drive and put it in there?
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't want to do, because it doesn't have anything to do with my brand.
Oh, I
So
get it.
so when this leaves my store and goes out into the world, I want it to be branded Create. That way people say,
Right.
"Oh, what's that?" And they say, "Oh, it's a Create skateboard. I made it over here." And then they can make
Oh,
one, or they can make a different one. But if someone came in with their own graphics, then it has nothing to do with our brand, and it doesn't really sit well when it goes out
yeah.
into the world, right? So any big brand like Nike, or any brand that's going to let you do customization like Vans or something like that, they just let you pick from their graphics, and because
Oh,
it goes out, it still looks like a Create board. It
right.
feels like a Create board, no matter what the graphics look like leaving,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so
It's a
that's
really
the one.
cool, that's a really cool way to get yourself out there.
Yeah, it's kind of that 80-20 rule, where you let 20% of the consumer drive what the business is doing, right? So now we're opening the doors and saying, "Hey, come work with us. Design something that's to meet your specifications, and then purchase the item, and go about your business." Where, I would say, 99.9% of the brands out there are not letting you do any of that. You get
Right.
what they make, right? So you're never going to be walking into a Supreme and walking into a Van store like this and saying, "Hey, I want to customize some stuff." So I think it's pretty cool, and
What,
it goes along with Create skateboards.
yeah. When did you start having that capability?
This is new. So this has been something that we've been working on for probably about 6 years, trying to develop it, find the right software developers to help us and build the hardware and everything. And it came from multiple people over the years asking me the same question. They would say, "What's the name of your brand?" And I'd say, "Create Skateboards." And they say, "Oh, can I create my own skateboard?" And I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
"How do I
I
say
was like, I
yes to
better do that.
yeah, so now you can. So yeah, so we're getting ready to launch that next month. So just in time for summer. And yeah, pretty exciting.
That's really, really beautiful, Chris.
Thank
Um,
you.
so what's your favorite memory, through guerrilla marketing or any what are the favorite memorable memories throughout Create?
I'd say I have a lot of different really good memories about it. Mainly I think the biggest one is teaching the youth how to do all of this,
Uh-huh.
right? And I've been doing this for 30 years. Teaching my son, kind of passing it forward, passing it down, showing him how to screen print, showing him how to, build a store, design a store, design certain things. So I think, transferring of knowledge to the youth, right? So we've got my son, we've got some guys on the skate team, and really, over the years was just, empowering them to become young entrepreneurs and do things themselves, right? So
Right.
I think that's the biggest takeaway I love about this whole thing is, I'm not going to be around forever, so I might as well take everything I've learned, you know,
Pass it on
pass,
to
or,
them.
pay it forward, and then and watch them, succeed.
Is there anything else you might want to share with us about your journey or
I think, doing this with children and showing them at a young age, I think is important. I grew up in a time where I went to school, and the school had music class, and the school had automotive class and shop class, and working with your hands and teaching you a vocation, right? So I think we've lost track of all that. Everything
Yeah.
went to being a doctor or a lawyer or a tech person, and it's like these people don't work with their hands. These people don't build things, right? And
Yeah.
so all of our manufacturing jobs left. No one knows how to build anything anymore with their hands. And so I think that's a tragedy, right? And so with Create, I've been able to kind of DIY a bunch of things and show them, hey, we can just build it. We don't need to wait for someone. We don't need to buy it off of Amazon. We can just make it. Let's just make it
Yeah.
ourselves. And so I think that's the biggest thing was, showing them that they can do these things and helping them do these things and showing them the way. And so, because it's a tragedy that our education system in the U.S. has gotten rid of all these fundamental things that make us stronger as a community.
Yeah, building something yourself will always be of value, even in the coming age of AI and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
You can't replace having something built by your own hands.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, but I see it kind of coming back with like, 3D printing, putting in the hands of people now, machine shops, you can get a CNC machine now and laser cutters and do all these things from home now, which I think is
What's
great.
a
So I'm
CNC machine?
yeah, the CNC machine, it's for cutting, you can cut wood. It's like a laser, but it instead of using a laser, it's actually using mechanical parts, tools, it's tooling.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so you can do CNC for metal, you can do it for wood, but it'll take your computer program and then cut out that pattern, right? Whatever
Oh,
it
okay.
is. And so, seeing that in the hands of people now and, seeing it at the DIY level, I think is pretty cool because now we're bringing manufacturing back, but it's not a big manufacturing thing. It's at the personal level, right? So if I
Right.
need to make I have these tools, I can make it in-house now. I don't have to go through some big industrial process to make it happen.
Do
So
you,
I'm I'm excited about that. I think that's great. I think that there's opportunity there for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you stay up to date with all these technologies, more than one technology, and the laser cutting, do you implement that already?
I have a few people that have laser cutters, so we've used those before. Staying up to date on this stuff, I've got a lot of friends that are DIY and a lot of people that run businesses, and we trade information back and forth whenever we see something. So, mostly it's through social media. These the things that manufacture these tools will, they'll advertise, and so we'll see that stuff. So, yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I was really, really interesting to hear about your journey, and a pleasure and joy to have you on here. And everyone should check out 360 Art Drops. That's my name of my podcast. And yeah, if you ever want to be on here again to announce anything, let me know.
Sure. Sounds good.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Okay, bye.